Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you make, it feels like you're always just one or two bad decisions away from financial stress? I used to feel the same way, but I realized something. It wasn't about how much I earned, it was about how I managed what I had. So today, I'm going to share the 7 rules of frugal living that transformed my financial situation and brought me a ton of peace along the way. And here's the best part. These aren't rules that make you feel like you're sacrificing everything fun in life. They're about living better, smarter, and with more intention. By the end of this video, you'll know how to take control of your money without feeling deprived. We're really close to reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your support can help us get there faster. Let's get started. Rule number 1. Track your spending. Okay, first things first. Track your spending. This is honestly the foundation of everything. If you're not sure where your money is going each month, how are you going to make meaningful changes? For me, tracking my spending was a total eye-opener. I used to wonder, where did all my money go? And then I started actually looking at it. Those $3 coffees, $10 lunches, random Amazon purchases that seemed so harmless in the moment. It was like I had tiny holes in my financial boat, and I didn't even realize it. Now, I use a simple app to categorize everything: food, bills, entertainment. You'd be amazed at how quickly small changes add up. If you've never tracked your spending before, I recommend doing it for just 1 month. You might discover some areas that you didn't even know were draining your budget. Rule number 2. Make a budget and stick to it. Once you've got a handle on where your money is going, it's time to set up a budget. And I know, budgeting sounds like the least fun thing in the world, but trust me, it doesn't have to be complicated. A budget isn't about restriction, it's about intention. It's about knowing where your money should go, rather than wondering where it went. Here's what I do. I break down my monthly income and assign every dollar a job. I have categories for essentials like rent, groceries, and utilities, but I also make sure to include a category for fun. That way, I'm not depriving myself, but I'm still sticking to my goals. This is key, because if your budget feels too restrictive, you won't stick to it. And don't forget, pay yourself first. Set aside a portion for savings right at the beginning of the month. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Rule number 3. Prioritize saving over spending. This brings me to rule number 3. Prioritize saving over spending. I used to be the type of person who would get my paycheck and immediately start thinking about what I could buy. It wasn't until I started paying myself first, meaning setting money aside in savings as soon as I got paid, that I really started building financial security. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about saving thousands of dollars overnight. You can start with just $50 or $100 a month, but the key is to do it consistently. Over time, that small habit builds up, and before you know it, you've got a nice little cushion for emergencies or future goals. Think of saving as buying your future freedom. And honestly, watching my savings grow started to give me the same excitement that buying new stuff used to give me. It's like seeing progress on your long-term goals, instead of just quick, temporary gratification. Rule number 4. Cut unnecessary expenses. Here's the thing about unnecessary expenses. They creep up on you. It's not the big, obvious costs like rent or groceries that sink your budget. It's the little things. For me, it was subscriptions I wasn't even using, and small daily purchases that felt harmless in the moment, but really added up over time. I mean, do you really need 3 different streaming services? Or that premium app subscription that you barely use? Take a good look at your recurring expenses and ask yourself, am I actually using this? If the answer is no, it's time to cut it. I reduced my spending by over $100 a month just by canceling unused subscriptions and limiting takeout. And trust me, once you start cutting back, you'll realize how much money you've been wasting without even realizing it. That extra money can go straight into your savings or help pay off debt. Rule number 5. Buy quality over quantity. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to live frugally is thinking they need to buy the cheapest option every time. But here's the truth. Cheap stuff breaks. It ends up costing you more in the long run because you have to replace it over and over. Instead, focus on buying quality items that last. I used to buy cheap clothes that would wear out after a few washes, but once I started investing in better-made pieces, I actually ended up spending less in the long run because I wasn't constantly replacing things. It's about thinking long-term and buying things that offer real value. This applies to everything, from clothes to kitchenware. Spend a little more upfront for something that will last you years, and you'll save money and reduce waste in the long run. Rule number 6. Embrace simple living. One of the most powerful shifts I made on this journey toward financial minimalism was embracing simple living. I used to think that living frugally meant missing out on the joys of life, but I quickly learned that it's actually the opposite. When you simplify your life, you remove the clutter, not just physical clutter, but mental clutter as well, and start to truly enjoy the things that matter most. Simple living, for me, is about slowing down and finding joy in the small things. I used to spend weekends shopping for stuff I didn't need, or scrolling through endless Amazon deals, thinking that the next purchase would make me happier. But what I've found is that the best moments in life, the ones that really fill you up, are often free or cost very little. Ultimately, embracing simple living isn't just about cutting costs. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your mental space. When you stop focusing on consuming and start focusing on what truly matters, you'll find a deeper sense of peace, and yes, your wallet will thank you too. Rule number 7. Live below your means. The final rule is the simplest, but it's also the most powerful. Live below your means. I know it sounds obvious, but it's something that so many people struggle with. We live in a world that encourages us to spend more than we make, whether it's keeping up with the latest tech, the nicest car, or the most Instagram-worthy vacations. But here's the secret to financial freedom. Spend less than you make and save the rest. It's really that simple. And by following the other rules on this list, tracking your spending, budgeting, cutting unnecessary expenses, you'll find that living below your means becomes second nature. So there you have it, the 7 rules of frugal living that have helped me not only save more, but live more intentionally. These rules aren't about depriving yourself. They're about making sure your money works for you, not the other way around. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. And let me know in the comments, what's one area in your life where you think you could be a little more frugal? Or do you have your own tips for financial minimalism? I'd love to hear them. We're really close to reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your support can help us get there faster. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.